Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news for everybody today. First of all, the good news, we have Tanea Stephens with us, and she works to help people decrease their toxic load, if you will, which is, by the way, the bad news is that we all have a toxic load that we carry with us because of the environment that we happen to live in. And we're going to talk about that a little bit so that you can get an understanding of really how, I don't know if dire, yeah, well, maybe dire may be the right word to use, how terrible a situation it is that we find ourselves. And the only way that we're going to get out of it is person by person, product by product, moment by moment, because it is everywhere. And so, Tanea, welcome to the show. How are you, young lady?
Oh, thank you, Kevin. I'm so honored to be here and really appreciate the opportunity to have um, a wider audience to talk to about this. Besides my friends and family, they are so sick of me talking about this stuff. So, thank
Well, you
you. I appreciate you.
you you're more than welcome, and you're doing it for their health and for their wellness, and so they should just be quiet and listen to you, and maybe even act on some of the things that you talk about. So, first of all, I want to give everybody your website so that they can go there and follow right along. It's decreaseyourtoxins.com, and you can work with Tanea. You can find out. She's got. I really like what you've done here because you've got a whole bunch of products that
Mhm.
you have tested, and there's a lot of things that people don't know about our government and the environment that we live in, and how our government checks or doesn't the toxicity of many of the products that we use, that we put
Mhm.
on our skin, that can invade our body, and just so many things.
Mhm.
um that it's great to have you here. What got you motivated? And you must have done some reading somewhere that scared you a little bit.
Oh boy, you know what? I cannot remember the exact source, but I really became interested in decreasing my personal toxins when I got pregnant with our daughter Bella, 18 years ago. And really, that passion has been growing ever since. I kind of picture it. I can feel the gigantic snowball that surrounds me. And I have all this momentum, all this energy and inspiration to just keep rolling it down the hill. Or maybe rolling it up the hill is a better analogy. Yeah, just becoming pregnant and wanting to. I must have read some article about what you put in and on your body actually transfers to the fetus. And, being the person I am, and, really being a data hound and liking to follow science, I decided I was going to try to decrease my personal toxins as much as possible for Bella. And at once she was born, it was like, okay, we're doing this for her too. And then I thought, and then as time went by, it was like, we're going to just do this for the whole family. I need to do this for Tim, Bella, and I. And then as the years went by, I became more and more passionate about it. And anyone who knows me, my close friends, my family, they know that when I really believe in something, I talk about it. So that really was why I've kind of been going down this path and this journey and decided to finally build this website so that I kind of have a platform to try to spread the word to more people, because it really does kind of enrage me to realize that the average person does not know about so many of these, I will just say, product injustices. And I just want to do my part to make the world a better place, to share the science and the deep dive information that I uncover in my blog, and then also share the products that I use. That's what I'm featuring on my shop page, my low toxin products page, and that's just going to grow. I have thousands of products that I'm going to be adding. Um, and I'm just getting started. So I'm a one woman shop. I've got a team of people support, some people, a couple of people supporting me, and I was like, I don't want to make it sound like I have a staff, because I don't. But I do have some friends through my business networking group that are helping me with my website to kind of take it to the next level, and all of that great stuff. So yeah, so I got started because of this, or because of becoming pregnant. And I will say, full circle, if my daughter Bella now will use a smartphone app that anybody can get my list of my favorite ones off my website on my Decrease Your Toxins Ditch and Switch blog page. She now is using one of these apps when she purchases her own skincare, to make sure that she's only purchasing products that have a low toxicity level. And to me, that is full circle. Makes me so happy.
Well, good for you. I'm glad that she is taking it seriously, because it is a very, very serious problem. Let me
Mhm.
highlight a few things that you've already said. When somebody says, "What do you mean it goes through your skin?" or "How does it go through your skin?" It's like, are you familiar with what they call a nicotine patch? The
Mhm.
nicotine patch goes outside your skin on your arm, and
Mhm.
then the medicine is then absorbed through your skin
Mhm.
and goes into your bloodstream. And same thing happens when you wear clothes. Same thing
Mhm.
happen, and we unfortunately, or in some cases, fortunately, we can't go around naked, and so we have to be um, cognizant of what we are wearing,
Mhm.
because we want to make sure. As an example, polyester is probably not the best choice for you, um, and when you go outside, there is toxicity in the air, in the water, in the grounds, even in the foods that we eat. um, there was a E. coli outbreak, and they tied it to spinach. And people were going, "Well, spinach was grown in the ground. How could that be?" Well, what happened was, and they found this out, the cows' poop went into the stream, and then the stream used that water to irrigate their crops. And so the E. coli was absorbed into the plant from the water. Do I have that correct, young lady?
Yes, we are a giant ecosystem. People think of the ecosystem as something related to animals, but it incorporates uh, all flora and fauna. Yeah, plants, animals, and humans. And it's, yeah, it's all related. That is a problem.
And by the way, if you're listening right now, you can go to the comment section if you have a question that you'd like to ask Tanya, and we'll put your question up so that you can ask her anything that's on your little heart's desire and stuff. So I know that, and congratulations on 18 years ago, it was not a thing. 18 years ago, there was very, very few people were talking about toxic body toxicity or toxicity of the
Mhm.
planet, and there were people that were saying, "No, that's not." It's like global warming. There were lots of folks that were saying that's not happening. Well, I'd like you to go down to Texas today, where 1 million acres have burned because of global warming down there today. So, in any event, we are here for you to talk about toxicity and how you can lighten your load a little bit. So I'm going to I'll bit over to Tanya so that she can kind of explain to us what it is that you have found out in your research.
Okay. Well, Well, that is an evolving story.
It
Every day,
is
every
continuing.
day I learn new things. There was just a Washington Post article 2 days ago about recommending that people boil their water to get microplastics out of it. And I will just say, yeah, it's an evolving story of research. There's always new research coming up. Luckily, people have now caught on to this, and there is a lot of research. The tricky part is having policy keep up with the best known science and for those messages to get out. And so that's where I'm trying to fill the gap, because a lot of times people won't be trolling the news for these kinds of scientific studies that come out, or be like a total geek and follow Environmental Working Group, Toxic Free Future, Silent Spring Institute. These are all you know, scientific working groups that work on policy, but they put a lot of resources into the science so that we have the backing to ask for the policy changes. But we actually need to move faster than how than what policy change can keep up with. So that's again where I'm trying to come into play, because as you were saying, Kevin, the toxins are a part of our life because of the food we eat, the water we drink, the clothes we wear, the products we use on our skin, and the things that are inside our indoor quality that put off fumes and what off gas that also then settle to the ground and create toxic dust. It might sound dire. We do all need to work on this. We need all hands on deck. I am also working kind of as a hobby on the side, as a personal interest thing. I'm not paid for it, but I am the Washington State lead for Raptors Are the Solution. And we are trying to get a certain kind of rat poison banned here in Washington State. Our executive director got a moratorium in California. We're trying to do it here because that is another way that poisons are impacting. I guess where I was going with this is I love all things wild and natural, and we need to protect them too. And I do follow a lot of that kind of news. And boy, once you start drilling in on that, you see how we're impacting the animal kingdom and every single species in the food web with all of these chemicals that we're using, whether it be rat poison or pesticides, what have you. So, and even our waterproof clothing, which I'm going to have a blog post and indigenous switch recommendations for probably next week. So yeah, it's a big problem, but uh, I do want to just circle back, because I mentioned the rat poison. People are like, what? We need to manage rats. Well, I just want to tell you that that the main kind of rat poison that we are using in the whole world, it's not just the US. It's called anticoagulant rodenticides. It's like a blood thinner. It's just like warfarin, and that's what's inside those black boxes that have the little hole that the rat goes into. So the rat goes in and it eats that poison, and we, until recently, that was the main thing that we could use to manage rats by killing them. And so they eat it, and then it takes them about 10 to 12 days to die, 7 to 12 days. And while they're dying, they kind of wobble around and they become easy prey for predators. And so, say an owl eats that rat, and then that poison actually does not break down inside the rat in time, and it gets passed on to the owl, and then it gets passed on to whatever else eats the owl. And we have those particular, that's just one poison that we're impacting the earthworms, which impact a lot of different species, including songbirds, and all the way up to mountain lions. In the Kitsap Peninsula, we have biologists over there who have tested the toxicity level of dead mountain lions, and we have high levels of these rodenticides in our mountain lions on the peninsula. And it's because people are using them, around the areas where the mountain lions live. And so we have a real problem. But here's where I want to focus my energy and what I'm trying to spread to the world. it might sound really dire and awful, and people are like, oh, I need to manage rats, we need to grow enough food, so we need pesticides. Oh, I need these wrinkles to go away, so I need whatever those chemicals are. The thing is, we can do a better job at, we can actually be just conscientious and choose to purchase and use products that do not diminish our personal health and then the well-being of wildlife and the planet and Mother Earth and all that stuff. And with regards to the rat poison, there is, believe it or not, rat birth control, and it does work. I spearheaded a pilot study in Queen Anne where we treated a grocery store, a Safeway grocery store that was going to be demolished for a new apartment building for more affordable housing for people. And usually when you dig a hole in the ground, the rats flee all and they go into everybody else's houses and it's a nightmare. Well, we got the city of Seattle to allow us to pilot this rat birth control, and we decreased the rat colony up there by the Safeway by 90%. And we kept it there until the dig, and there were no complaints. And in fact, the superintendent for the project said they've never demoed building that didn't have a rat infestation. So we're trying to, and new products that have the new rat birth control products that are easier to use than the one we piloted here are coming within months. So I will be talking about that on my blog as well. So that's just one example of how people can make better choices for themselves and for the environment. Everything from makeup to skincare to cleaning supplies. Our indoor air quality is actually more toxic than outdoor air quality, says the EPA. And so we really ought to be more thoughtful about the cleaning products that we use. There's a lot of things we can't really do much about, like furniture and off-gassing of different products in our homes, but we can choose plant-based cleaning supplies that actually work. You can also make your own cleaning supplies in a very affordable way, and I have recipes for that. Yeah, I could go on and on. So which direction do you want me to go?
Well, if you go on and on, you're going to go down a rabbit hole that we need to keep it so that people understand a couple things about their personal hygiene and what they can do. But Keelan says, my family is appreciative of all your hard work helping to inform us. Awareness is the first step. And that is absolutely true. And I wanted to let everybody know, though, that one of the major problems that we have in our country is that there is a movement afoot that regulations are too demanding and too specific. But the problem is the FDA, as an example, I'm an old food guy, and the FDA does not test anything. What they do is they accept the test from the company that is working to put a particular product out, and then they view that as whether or not that is accurate or not before they approve it. But they don't do their own testing. There are too many products out there for the U.S. government to be able to test them all. So they have to wait until there is signs of a particular problem. As an example, what is it called? The pesticide that we use, Roundup.
Yeah.
They determined that because of the incidences of cancer that were being experienced by people that were using Roundup, then they began to do the testing, and they figured out this ain't a very good thing for us to be giving people and to put on their plants and stuff. So it takes time. That's why people and work that you do is very important, because not only do we have toxicity outside like jet fuel, fire retardant, all of those things that are occurring in the environment because of the things that we've been doing like forever, and these things stay around for a long time. Plastics would be another one. those things, they stay around for a long time. And there's also internal toxins that need to be cleaned. Do you talk a lot about your internal toxicity level and how to lighten that load as well?
I sure do. And
I
I
figured you did.
yes, yes, yes. So let me give you a personal example. And I am a study of one. I know my body the most and the best. And so yes. So for instance, so I had been using a particular brand of skincare and makeup products, and for probably like 3 years, because they promoted themselves as clean. And so I was just going by their self reporting as clean, and mostly they are clean. So fast forward 3 years, I'm using these products, and I will just say, I'm not shy to say that I have hit menopause, and there's certain side effects that you get from menopause, and I had mostly gotten those. I mostly managed those because of the plant based estrogen supplements that I take, and but then I noticed that I still was having a lot of hot flashes. And even though, so I was trying to figure that out. And these tools came out with the smartphones where Environmental Working Group and Yucca, they have these, there's like 3 different ones that I use where you can scan a product, the barcode, and it will give you a toxicity rating. Well, what I finally drilled down on, because I am so curious and I always want to know like what's happening. So I drilled down on it over a series of weeks, and I finally figured out that this moisturizer I was using, after I downloaded this smart app, that it had hormone disrupting chemicals in it, and it got a high toxicity rating. I stopped using it, and guess what? My hot flashes went away. And one of the things I've been doing is because I now have methodically gone through, and I don't use any hormone disrupting uh any products that have hormone disruptors in them if I can.
Well, no, hold on. I gotta ask. I've got to take a quick break because when I come back, I have never heard that term before. What is a hormone disruptor? And by the way, it's okay for you to talk about menopause because half the population, if they're lucky enough, are going to have that. So it's good to have other things that we that we can work to fix it. So when we come back, don't forget about that. When you say a hormone disruptor, I'm curious to know what that is. Never heard that. I'm a guy. What do I know? But we'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
Fabulous. Thank you.
They have your eyes. They have your ears. They have your smile. Now all they need is a little more of your time. Make a difference in your child's life, because anyone can be a father. It takes time to be a dad.
And welcome back, everybody. See, that was just 30 seconds. That wasn't a bad thing. And that was a PSA and on the Brushwood Media Network. And we're talking with Tanea Stephens. She is a toxin expert, I would venture to guess, because you've done a lot of research on it. And you can go to our website, which is decreaseyourtoxins.com, and find out all about her and to work with her. And let's see, Jim, great job, Tanea. Love your passion, baby. So that's good. That's and I want to. It's great that you are here. Now you mentioned something I had no idea what is this, a hormone disruptor.
Yeah, and I think I can imagine that anybody at any of these companies, skincare companies, will see this, but maybe they will. They need to actually look into that, and they need to start marketing to that. And one of the things I've been doing is there have been some new uh plant-based considered clean skincare products and such that have come out in the marketplace, but they're not addressing this hormone disruption chemical thing. And I send them messages and I ask them if they have them in their products, and they don't answer me. So
Surprise.
anyway, I think people need to know about this. So hormone disruptors, it's a certain class of chemicals that are used in things like laundry products and skin care products and makeup in particular. And there are certain these chemicals end up causing hormone disruption, which impacts fertility. But by the way, for women and men, there's scientific studies out there that show that it decreases sperm count. And it really messes with estrogen levels. And that's what's going on in perimenopause, menopause, what have you. I've even sent some messages to some Instagram doctors who focus on hormones to ask them about this, and it's been kind of hard to connect with people, but I do think it is a thing. And it also can these hormone disrupting chemicals, again, laundry soap, cleaning supplies, skin care products, they can also cause developmental issues. They can cause cancer. So it is a real problem. And yeah, so I only use, and so all the products on my website and the ones that I cover in my Ditch and Switch blog do not have hormone disruptors in them. I make sure of that because I source the scientific databases where they have money to, employ scientists to test these products.
I'm curious to know because when I was a kid, which was a while ago, um, there was really autism was not a thing. There really wasn't a whole lot out there that they could identify as to what it was and what it was causing and all that. And over the course of years, the numbers of autism that has showed up has continued to grow, and the numbers of kids that are dealing with this is more and more and more. I think I heard a statistic now that it's like 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 children has got some form of autistic or is on the now they have I just love how we work. They have a whole thing now. It's called the spectrum.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the spectrum encompasses everything from autism to PTSD to, I guess, and a whole range of things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's becoming more and more common, and it has to be environmental, doesn't it?
I think of that often, yes, about a lot of ailments and health concerns out there. Infertility. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know if anyone has done a study on linking autism uh cause to the way these studies work. It would work like one chemical at a time. So, who's going to fund that research? I'm not sure, but I do deep dive and reference PubMed. It's a consortium of peer-reviewed scientific studies that the NIH sponsors, and I'm going to go check that and see if anyone's done any studies on it.
I would venture to guess not, because you said the magic word. It costs money. Who's going to
Mm-hmm.
pay for it?
Mm-hmm.
And the companies that are putting these chemicals into these products surely don't want to go down that road, because they would have to then change the formulation of the products and pull some of these toxins, some of these chemicals out, and it doesn't serve them well.
Mm-hmm.
So until we can get more and more activists like you involved and it become a much more mainstream idea that we live in a toxic world and we need to start protecting our children and protecting each other, until we get to that point, I'm afraid it's going to be a difficult, and you said it earlier, an uphill climb to get that done. So thank you for the work that you're doing. I think it's important.
Thank you. I aspire to inspire. So I'm happy that you think that it's having that effect on you.
Well, it's. I used to belong to a company called Isogenics that does a internal cleanse is what they
Mhm.
called it. And this goes all the way back to 2003 and four, and it is an internal cleanse, and that has become it. In those days, it wasn't a thing. Now it's becoming a thing where eating less,
Mhm.
giving your body a break from food, doing a cleanse of some kind. There even is a, I don't know if you know about this, and I can't imagine it, but there's even coffee enemas that people are talking about.
Ooh, I did not know about that. Wow. I I do draw the line. I have a line, and that would cross it for sure.
That would, now I've talked to several people, and some of them say, yeah, it's kind of it's a new phenomenon thing, and some say it actually works. I'm personally, I can vouch for it. I've never tried it, never will. But but there are ways that you can detoxify your body, and
Mhm.
you can use, there are aloe vera oil, and there's other things that you can utilize for that as well.
Mhm.
And you'll feel better, and you will also lose weight, I'm told.
Yes, I believe that's true. Yeah, I think, let's see, what were we just talking about?
So if we were, I'll just add this, if because when we start talking about jet fuel, which is everywhere, because have you ever seen a picture of the United States in real time of the number of planes that are in the air at any particular moment in time?
Yes, they have that at the, Aeronautical Museum down, by Boeing Field.
Oh, really? I'll need to go there, because it is really quite substantial how many jets are actually flying in the air at any given time. And when we come back, we got to take a station break. But when we come back, I'm gonna have Tanya explain to us why a plane flying in the air can mean jet fuel in your food. Yum. We'll be right back. So stay with us. You're listening to Positive Talk on the Brushwood Media Network.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends who love and support you, look closer. There are youth right in your community who don't have the home, warmth, and healing you have. So look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. Tonight, 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed. And tomorrow, they will wake up surrounded by love. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In sites across America to help them fulfill the great promise of their lives. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
And welcome everybody to Positive Talk. We're right here on the Brushwood Media Network. My name is Kevin McDonald, and we're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And we've got a great guest here. Her name is Tanea Stephens, and we're talking about decreasing your toxic load, and making yourself feel a whole bunch better. And when did you have the idea that you were going to test all of these products, and how much money have you spent buying all these products and testing them?
Oh, lucky me, my husband is in a work meeting right now. Oh gosh. Well, I mean, honestly, I these I decided to start testing them when I wanted to decrease my own, like, when I'm thinking about what I'm going to purchase for my own home.
Right.
I've only recently become a little neurotic about it. But for real, like, every time I need to get something new, I'm like, wait a minute, can I find a healthier alternative? So this summer I did buy 5 or 6 different brands of compostable, reusable bags. But I did do that because my husband went in to get what was one of the last more popular plastic reusable bags from my Costco stash in the pantry. And he said, we got to get away from using all these plastic bags. And I thought, oh my gosh, you're right. I can't buy another case of those. And so I did buy 5 or 6 different brands, and I tested them out on a beach vacation. And the winner has its own blog post in my Ditch and Switch blog, because I wanted to find something that would work, that wasn't going to leak if I put a pickle in there with some juice. I even cleavered some pork loin in the winter. I put a pork loin in the compostable Ziploc. I zipped it up, and then I tenderized it, and it didn't even poke any holes in it. So they're pretty good now. I don't know how much I've spent, because I have purchased, there are certain things I still haven't found good alternatives for, that I've spent a lot of money trying different products. My hair's kind of high maintenance, and I would say I haven't really hit the jackpot on that. And I've probably tried like 20 different kinds of styling products that are low toxin, and shampoos and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, my hair is real high maintenance too.
I knew you would relate to that.
But I want to get back real quick to the jet fuel problem, and that's this. Jet fuel in the planes that are flying around, that hangs in the air. Along comes the cloud that has rain in it, and as the rain falls, it attaches the jet fuel to the rain, and it falls to the ground. And then through either irrigation, because the water then goes into the lakes or the rivers, and then they take the water from the river, and they have fire retardant in the Colorado River, and so they have, so that then goes into the plants. The plants absorb the water, just like E. coli, and voila, we have jet fuel in our food. And they're trying to create jets that have less fuel exhaust, but they haven't got there yet. And so that's one of the things that I don't know that there's anything that we can really do about that, other than Jiminy Christmas, preparing our food differently to help us get rid of the toxins. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the rainwater thing. I don't know what we can do about that. For our family, whenever possible, we purchase organic, but that doesn't really solve that problem. I think for water, I haven't, you mentioned fire retardants, and I don't know the chemistry in jet fuel. But I have studied fire retardants, and you're talking about forever chemicals, and that is pervasive, and it is in our rainwater and ending up in the soil and all of that. And I only recently did a deep dive on that for my family, and I am now using a water pitcher that would keep on the counter, and I'm feeding it. I'm using it for my dog and my cat and us, because I was shocked to learn, again, through Environmental Working Group, they are such a great resource. You can put your zip code in, and it will tell you what kind of chemicals are in your tap water. And we don't have forever chemicals here in Seattle proper. We have some. There are some municipalities around the city that have had a lot of like training for firefighters and stuff like that, and like out by the airport and stuff. But there are filters that can filter that out. But I can tell you, most fridge filters do not take that stuff out. But there are some like solid carbon block filters that go through pitchers that do filter out the forever chemicals, if you do have them, microplastics, and all the antibiotics and painkillers that are in the water. The water is too overloaded with all this stuff. And yes, it is probably also showing up in our food. So I do have a solution. I do think everybody should be filtering their water in addition to, or just do a deep dive. I've got a 4-step process in my blog article about water that you can, so you can check your own water. I literally printed out the specs of what was in the Seattle water, and I compared it to my fridge filter and my city water report. And that's how I chose the water filter for my family. And so people can do that, and maybe wash your fruits and vegetables with filtered water. That would be one thing you could do.
That might help. That might help. And you mentioned, and I just want to clarify this so that everybody gets really how pervasive this is. When you talk about antibiotics and painkiller being in the water, it's like, how does it get into the water? One would ask. It's like, well, when you take a pill, you have a degree of absorption that goes into your body, which your body absorbs the nutrients or whatever it is that's in that pill. There's a percentage that is not absorbed into your body, and it goes out through the normal processes, and it goes into the sewer systems, and then that's correct, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it's really surprising. Yeah, and marine life, there are studies that are regularly coming out. Marine life, aquatic life, they are finding these chemicals in the bodies of deceased bodies of those species. Yeah, and it just gets for some reason, I guess it's just so expensive to really fully filter out these things out of a municipal water system. I really hope that some of these rock star startup water filtration companies are working on something bigger, because it's really not fair that people should have to buy water filters to get clean water.
In the one of the biggest and most successful countries in the world. I
Right.
think you're right. And our sewer systems and our water filtration systems are not state of the art. They've been around for a long time in some cases. But what I would like to just highlight here is that because of the work that you're doing and you're educating people who are changing their buying habits, unfortunately, in our society, that is the only way meaningful change happens, is when the manufacturers look up and go, why is this company growing and we're not? Well, maybe it's because they've got a natural product that has got a better and lower toxic load, and so people are becoming aware of that, so they're buying that instead of yours. And you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, well, by gum, then we're going to do the same darn thing, only ours is going to be better. That's the only way change happens.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my daydream. Yeah, that would be my dream. I would love that.
Well, it will happen, but you have to keep going. Good toots.
It's hard. It's hard sometimes. You're like, oh, does anybody? Yeah. Yep. Trying to affect change is really difficult. And being an advocate, an activist can be kind of a tough thing, because you're not sure. It's just hard for people to make changes. But yes, I am driven. I literally ask my husband, I bound out of bed every single morning. My feet hit the ground and I'm excited to get up, and I'm motivated for this reason, because I'm just love this world. I love humans. I love wildlife, and I want us all to be here as long as possible. I'm personally trying to live to 110, and I don't want to outlive all the bird species that I love, and all of the wildlife species that I love. I want us all to be here. So I am driven by that.
As well, you should be, and I hope that other people are taking notice of what you're doing and will join in your in your crusade, if you will. We need to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk about how somebody can work with you. How can somebody join forces with you to help get the word out about toxins and everything that's going on in our planet, and how they can um, help you get the word out about what you've done. By the way, have you thought about running for office before I go to break?
Oh my gosh, no, I have not.
Well, I
But
want you to start thinking about it, my friend, because I think we need people like you in positions of power in government who can help us understand and get the word out about some of these things. You're listening to Positive Talk. We're talking with Tanea Stephens. Decreaseyourtoxins.com is her website. Go there, find out all about her. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with our final segment. Stay with us, please.
A lifetime of savings can disappear overnight. Millions of dollars are stolen every day from unsuspecting older adults by family members, caregivers, and trusted professionals. If you suspect financial exploitation, call the Elder Care Locator at 1-800-677-1116 or go online to the National Adult Protective Services Association to be connected with help in your area.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. And that PSA was talking about elder financial fraud and abuse. We've got so many. Do you ever think about just how many problems we've got? We've got homeless kids, and we've got seniors that are not secure in their finances, and we've got people that are not happy with what they're doing. There are people that are living in hate, division, and fear. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's hard to keep a positive attitude sometimes, isn't it?
it is. And my personal strategy is to create a bubble around me. And I do think it's important to be informed and stay informed about what's happening in the world. And I do try to do that, but in a minimal way. And you know what I also think? I think that if people can find one thing that they're passionate about to try to help, of all those, there's so many problems that need help. It takes a village. And if every person just picked one thing to focus on for themselves, they don't have to be the Washington state lead for policy change. They can simply go down to a homeless shelter and volunteer their time. It doesn't, they can write a check, whatever it is. I think if everybody would just do a little bit of something to help solve the problem instead of putting their heads in the sand, I think the world would be a much better place. And it's doable, but people need to stay inspired and motivated and just do it.
See, and I love that, because you're going to live to be 110, and I'm willing to bet that when you are 109 and 365 days, you're still going to be bounding out of bed and following your passion, following your heart, and doing great things.
I am.
Which is great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. I thank you. It's crazy, but I'm just wired that way.
Well, there needs to be more people wired like you, because you're right. We cannot be here if we are in a toxic environment. So that is the first thing. Is cancer rates are still too high. They're coming down because of technology, but they're still too high, and people are getting sick, and there's lots of issues. So, but on a positive side, there's a place that you can go. I just heard about this place just recently. You can go to this website, and I don't know if you know this. You can go to this website, and it's got something called Ditch and Switch on it, which you can go to that, and it can talk to you about, okay, if you want to really change your environment and your toxic load, that you can switch to these already tested products by the owner of the website, Tanea Stephens. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but you can go to that website and you can find out all the information that you need to be able to live and reduce your toxic load for yourself, for your family, for your pets, for everybody. Have you heard about that website?
I just stumbled upon it yesterday. And
I think it's awesome that you have gone to the expense and the work of putting all of that together, and you should be
oh,
you should feel really good. And by the way, your family should be really proud of you.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna make them watch this. Both of them are tied up right now, but yeah, I appreciate that. That helps me out a lot.
Well, I got to tell you, you have got a group of listeners that have been listening to this for the entire time, and
Oh, fantastic.
and because this is a rarely talked. It's not a sexy thing. It's
No,
not like talking about what is it, Kelsey and the singer and
Taylor.
or yeah, Taylor Swift. Or thank you very much. I'm a little out of school for that, but in some of those, it's not a sexy topic, but it's necessary topic.
Yeah, yeah, and it's something that people can do something about. That's one of the things I think is so hard right now about the world we live in. It all feels so all the problems just seem so huge and like there's nothing we can do about it. And so people are just kind of going insular into their rabbit holes. And maybe if people just thought, like I said, about the one thing they can do, that it would be the one thing they can personally do to make the world a better place and to also improve their own health and well-being, their pets, all of this. It's all, yeah, it's possible we can all do our little parts and be here 20 years from now with all the same plant and animal species. I mean, it's all just getting very weird. But we need to stay positive.
Yes, we do. And there now, as an example, I had a dog. I love this dog. His name was Crockett, and we fed him the stuff at the grocery store because that's what they said. That's what you do. And he died at 8 of cancer because the food that we were feeding him was not the best possible food for him. But now there are companies out there. If you love your animal like I loved him, there are now companies out there with natural products. We are going in that direction, and I love to see it.
And pets also need to drink filtered water.
Exactly.
And the filter has to filter out the right stuff, the bad things that you have in your personal municipal water supply. So
Now, is it true? Can you go to your municipality and get a readout of what's in your water? I
well,
heard them.
luckily, Environmental Working Group, and I do not work for them. I don't get any money from them.
You
But I
should.
guess I'm so grateful for them because they really are providing us with the science. They have a database, all it's like Public Information Act. They went to all the water municipalities around the country and they asked for this additional data on what's in the water, in the tap water. And it is part of their website. And you can put in your zip code and it will give you the contaminants that are in there, and then you can decide personally whether or not you care about those contaminants. For me, I'm trying to live at 110. So as soon as I saw those 9 contaminants in there, I was like, which filter is going to get these out? So I spent probably 4 hours trying to figure out which one to buy. And because I wanted to get one that actually, and I also had to figure out whether or not the filter I was already using worked. So anyway, yeah, pets need filtered water as well, in my opinion. I'm not a vet.
What is the company that you're talking about again, so that people can write it down?
Okay. It is Epic Water Filters. That is what I'm using, and I'm really excited about them. They're actually based out of Colorado. They have a young team. They're founded by um, some active people who wanted to have filtered water while they were out hiking and such. They have actual water. I should have been drinking out of it. They have water bottles too that have a filter on them, and you just drink out of the straw. And so you can take that water bottle with you anywhere, from the mountain river to the water fountain at the airport to your home tap water, and you can get the water filtered that way, and it filters all that stuff I just was talking about, forever chemicals, microplastics, and the microorganisms from a creek if you're out hiking. It's pretty amazing.
And the name of the company or the group that you're working with that develops this report that people can go to.
I'm not working with them. I just reference them. They're one of the think tanks that I reference for my data, and it's Environmental Working Group. And
do they have a website that people can go to? Yeah.
Yes, environmentalworkinggroup.org. And there's also a link in my water blog, on my Ditch and Switch blog. I wrote an article, about a deep dive article. It's kind of long because it covers a lot of science and talks a lot about how we got to where we are today in terms of, why we have contaminated water coming out of the tap when we're told that it's the cleanest in the country. But now I have learned through Environmental Working Group that it's just that the FDA and the EPA, they haven't kept up with, in the policies, like the regulations haven't been kept up with best available science, and they haven't actually updated the requirements for reporting on tap water in 25 years. So that's a problem.
Yeah, that is, and there are cities in the Midwest that have been around a lot longer that they use pipes that are now obsolete, and they can actually cause damage to somebody. So,
Right.
Get that all together. And I wanted to just make this point, and then I want you to finish up, and because we were going to run out of time. The point I wanted to make is before 1900 before the year, before 1900, we did not have a lot of these things. These chemicals were not there. Plastics were not there.
Mm-hmm.
The combustion engine was brand new. A lot of these things didn't exist. So we lived in a much cleaner environment. The food had more nutrients in it because it wasn't reproduced and reproduced and reproduced on the same land that they do now, and they used to do different things. So we really have to get back to our roots. There are people that talk about make America great again. Let's go back to 1900 and figure out a way to make it as clean. That would be my suggestion. In any event, we've been talking with Tanea. Do you agree with that?
Are you kidding me? I wish I could live on Little House on the Prairie. I am really, seriously, I'm a girl of the earth, and I've reluctantly been slowly but surely trying to do this technology thing, but I'm happiest when I am sitting in the soil. So, yeah.
Tanea Stephens has been our guest. Go to decreaseyourtoxins.com to find out more about her. We have about a minute left, and I'm going to let you have the floor to say anything to our audience you'd like them to know.
Whoa, anything. Okay. I hope you're inspired and that you'll think a little bit more about making positive, healthy changes for yourself. I am available for home and office audits if you need a little help outside of just shopping on my site. And I'm available for questions, available for speaking engagements if you want me to come in and talk to your employees or your nonprofit group or just your group of friends, what have you. And I just and if you'd like to work with me and try to roll this out wherever it is that you live to try to get more people into this kind of lifestyle, I'm here to be your guide and would be happy to lead you down that path. So just so very grateful for this opportunity and for Cayetana Sansegundo, my dear friend who introduced me to Kevin, who is just a lovely person. And I noticed that you have a tagline, something about making the world a better place. So I thought, what better person to have my very first debut conversation with about my Decrease Your Toxins. So I am grateful for you and the work you're doing and focusing on positive people.
You did an awesome job, but you need to get out there more. You're going to have to come back, and we'll do this again. Again, Tanea Stephens, decreaseyourtoxins.com. And thank you so much. And as a matter of fact, you're going to hear what I say at the end of every show right now. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. We are a production of KMmedia.pro, a full-service media company. Whether it is audio, video, shorts, or longer pieces, we're able to take each project from beginning to final product within your time frame and on budget. Visit KMmedia.pro for more details about us and to get started on your project. We also would like to thank the Brushwood Media Network for all their support. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com to find out more about them and the quality shows featured on the network. Until then, we'll see you next time. My name again is Kevin McDonald, and please remember,